You guys have to see Miss Paranormal Pixie jamming in the back. It's fantastic. What is up, guys? Total Guerra, Blue Crossroads, and Jules Enigma. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys for coming in and joining us. I do have windows open. It's like 80 degrees here today. I'm waiting for the rain to come and cool everything off. And yay! Let me bring them in. Let me bring in my other hosts. Hi, Pankaj. Aunt Edna, we missed you last night. I hope you are doing well. I'm going to bring them in because I was going to use the little girls' room real quick, but I didn't want to leave you guys waiting. So let me bring them in, and then we'll get started. And then I will be right back. Hold down the fort. That's not how I want this to look. Hold on. There we go. Be right back,
There
guys.
we go. You run.
I can't get a hold of the fort, so hold on. I'm trying to reach the fort.
My fort is nothing but a bucket full of Lincoln logs, okay?
Oh, what happened?
Oh,
no. Wait.
No. You pushed a
I'm
button.
here. No, I didn't. One sec. There we go. Wait, come back. I lost my cam. Oh, no, don't do that. Hold on, let me come back. I'm going to pop out and come back, see what happened.
Okay. I'll hold down the fort.
No,
Can't see the chat, but I'll wave to everybody. Hi, everybody. I hope your week's going good. Getting ready for Easter. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Nope. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, hopefully he's able to pop back in real quick. I hope everybody's having a really good week. Things around here on the mountain have been a little quiet, but it's been very windy. Yeah, very windy.
Where did he go?
Hi, Gemma. He went to adjust, and his camera went back to the icon, and so he was going to pop out and try to pop back in. So, yeah.
What's up, Richard Elmore? It's been interesting weather. I'm glad to finally have a spring day here in New Jersey, but it was like winter to summer overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Overnight.
It did been doing crazy things here. I mean, we were finally gotten up to where we were in the low, mid 50s, low 60s, and then the winds came in at 60 mile an hour, and the temperature dropped 30 degrees.
Oh my God!
And we're back up to 40 today. But
we had a bunch of days like that where it was absolutely beautiful outside, but it was literally 60 mile per hour winds. It was blowing. We had to keep locking the screen doors because they were blowing off the hinges. And then last Saturday, we had a tornado touch down fairly close to here, 10 minutes from here. It touched down like right on Great Adventure, and then just like blew Great Adventure out off like the map in New Jersey. And kept going.
Yeah.
If you lost your wrench, I don't know. Did you ever have a wrench? Finally able to watch me. That's awesome. Yes. When? Today? I appreciate all of you guys so much. I really do. Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, Monday afternoons, and then of course, the pre-recorded videos. So just what I want to show you guys really quick before we kind of move into whatever it is you guys want to talk about today. I think he can add himself to stream. You good?
There he is.
I did. I lost my camera for some reason. It was really weird.
I wanted to show you guys.
Everything.
Total, yeah. I was gonna say I don't know if I ever saw your name in stream before, but I definitely recognize the name. So always good to have new faces, new names. Yes, I recognize the name, and I'm like, sometimes I get confused because people have different names on Facebook than, they might have their real life name and then a YouTube name. So this is one of the shirts from Arisha, Lotus Girl's sister. Okay, this is cool. Pennywise with the dead lights.
Nice.
And this is the image that I chose of him.
Oh, how cool is that?
on the back, because I am changing this to Gemma Jade Paranormal instead of just Gemma Jade, because there's a lot of Gemma Jades, well, a few on YouTube. And then this one, which I thought was adorable for the holiday.
Huh.
It
Nice.
says, if I had feelings, they'd be for you. That's what the sign he's holding says. So, thought it was cute.
That's great.
All right, so we didn't really, as usual, we really didn't come with anything, really thought about to speak on. We figured we'd leave it to you guys if you guys have questions. I'm working with someone right now who is dealing with a pretty strong curse, and I know a lot of people don't believe in curses, but whether the person actually has a curse on them or not, right? When they come to me or someone like me,
I'll be
they
right
really
back. Keep talking.
believe, yeah, no problem. They really believe that they do, right? So I'm never going to be like, you're crazy. There's no curse on you. A lot of the time there is something there, again, whether you believe in curses or not. But I feel really bad for this person because they are kind of under attack, again, whether by outside forces or their own frenzy they've worked themselves up into. So
Right.
I thought I was going to have a nice relaxing day today. And then as soon as I got home, I'm like, oh, I can relax. And then it was like ding, 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 ding from like all sides, a million different things, of course. But this one case had me a little concerned for my client because he's really, one thing I saw connected to his energy was like tar. His energy looked very just tar. That's the only way I could explain it.
Blood. Yeah.
Yes. And he showed me something that he says came kind of through the window and went through his foot. And I guess as a result of some witchcraft or whatever being sent his way. And it's crazy because it looked like a little thing of tar, And all I would say to you guys is, it's normally the obvious first. So, if you get drunk and at the end of the night think someone put a curse on you, you might want to sober up before you move further into that idea. But one other thing, just on this same train of thought, is if, somebody who feels like something like this could have happened to them, it's never a good idea to tell them they're wrong or they're crazy or things right. Such as that don't exist, right? Because at the end of the day, someone who can see things like that, like me, or someone who just believes in it and can't see it, or someone who doesn't believe at all, none of us, I can't say, look, guys, at what I'm seeing right in front. Like, I can't let you see through my eyes to prove anything to you. So exactly. I would just say, because of what I'm watching him go through, like, try to be more sensitive or be sensitive to people that are dealing with that type of stuff. Yes, I very much do believe in past lives. I don't believe that they're past per se. Time isn't linear. On Earth, it's linear. So I guess, yes, it would be a past life, but I believe that all lifetimes are happening right now. But I do believe we have many, many, many others.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yes, our lives on planet Earth are linear, and we live in a linear manner to experience this 3D world. Our life outside of the physical, there is no past, present, future. It does all occur at the same time, even if you look at, string theory and the way it would loop back on itself. So, I'm absolutely in agreement with that. I know for myself, there are certain things that I have remembered that I've never been through, and then I've gone and actually looked them up, whether it be places or people, and it turns out, okay, I can validate it for myself. And when I've talked to other people who have also had that, that feeling of, I recognize, this place, I feel like I've lived here before, helping them look into that in a way that is supportive.
Yeah, I think one of the main things we have to remember, I mean, just in general with dealing with other human beings, but in cases where we're dealing with beliefs of things that like we may not have either grown up to believe in, or we have no reason to have believed in it yet. You know, a lot of the times our belief comes through experience or watching someone else experience. It's just to remember that, you know, to be sensitive to other people's issues and thoughts and ideas. Right. And you know, and that's not saying that you have to worry about every little feeling of every single person that exists around you or in the world. But, you know, especially the people closest to you, or if someone's coming to you for help or to talk to you, because I mean, I've seen clients really like start losing their minds over either real in some cases, and in some cases perceived curses. Mm-hmm. And that's Absolutely. The power of words, right? And of the mind. Because so if you think someone's a witch or someone who has the ability to curse somebody, and they say, I'm very seriously, I'm going to curse you, you can literally make a person go so crazy thinking about that in their own mind that they will become sick. They could lose their job. They could start doing crazy things, and they'll attribute it to the curse. But really, it's just they're breaking down mentally, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I've seen both sides of that. You know, I have helped some people through the emotional turmoil of dealing with perceived and real curses. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Somebody just said something. Yes, Pine Island Research. I stopped in and I was like, I'm just going to stop in and say hi and, you know, show some support. And then as soon as I texted it, everything just started buffering and shut down, but I did get a new phone. But yeah, I just wanted to come in and say hi because you always stop in and show your love in my channel. I know at least 5 of them. I am haunted by them. Total says, I'm cursed that I know my past lives. I'd be interested to know, what about knowing about your past lives makes you think you're cursed?
Yeah, I'd be.
I would love to know some of my. It's one of you know, the things that I cannot do. I don't, unless I accidentally you know, view something, which I've done a few times when I've connected to somebody and I have had either a recent past life or many past lives with them. But that might have happened a handful of times in my whole life. So I would love to be able to see past lives, especially my own. You know,
I know I have dreams about mine all the time.
We contract our lives here for the most part. Free will can change any of that at any given point. But our higher selves are always working to make sure that we're completing contracts and we're you know, doing what we're supposed to be doing for the most part. And we come in with contracts, but, you know, honestly, I believe our higher selves are still working on our contracts and changing things around up till we're about 6 years old, between 4 and 6, depending on the advancement of the child. So, you know, that's interesting, just to feel like you're cursed because you can see past lives. I mean, was it horrible things? Do you feel like it's something that you keep, maybe something you keep repeating or that keeps happening to you? Because that's generational through lifetimes, meaning, you know, karma or traumas or ties. And those are things, if you're aware of them, that's great, because then you can find out ways to change it and make sure that you don't come in next time, or you don't leave now with those things, right? What's up, Smoochy girl? In a Squatch clan? You could have been. Who knows? You know, I haven't seen, at least last night and so far not tonight, Darling Deb.
Yeah.
I hope she's okay.
Bat Mom. Who else?
Yeah, I haven't seen Bat Mom for a few days. For
Oh,
sure.
that one too. She wasn't there last
Yeah.
night. We were missing quite a few people, but I think what happened is I've been starting a lot earlier, like 20 minutes to a half hour earlier than I normally am. So we're running out of people to people that would normally come in at 9:45 or 10 o'clock. We're not there because I'd started on time instead of late.
Really?
And
You threw everybody out of whack.
Andrew Gnomes is here, or he
Yes,
was
and
here just a minute ago.
give him a minute. He's in and out. He's probably on the road. Andrew, be safe.
And the same here. Anna said they always called me an old soul. I knew things and handled situations differently than a child my age. Yeah, I never understood. And don't get me wrong, I threw temper tantrums and I was a brat. But once I hit a certain age, and I mean a very young age, like 4 or 5 years old, I didn't understand why other kids behaved that way. Or like even in middle school where, my friends are like, let's go to the top of these 25 steps and ride our bicycles down with no helmet. And I'm like, like, why would we, because there were lessons I guess I had learned so many times that it was like, why would I ever do something like that? I was a very careful kid, a very, like, I don't want to get in any trouble. I don't want to disobey anybody. I don't want to break any rules. Like, really, you wouldn't know it from how my life ended up in my 30s, but I really was like that. I was always, the hero child. And I do think that comes with soul knowledge.
Absolutely. I was the same way. Same thing. Called a very old soul since I was very little. I didn't have any brothers and sisters, so the closest I had was my uncle, who's only 7 years older than me. So I grew up as an only child, but I just looked at the kids around me, and I'm sorry, but the dumb things they were doing.
Yes, nope, absolutely.
It's like, are you trying to take yourself out of the gene pool at 12? And then the way they would behave or treat other people, and I don't want to be associated with that. Yeah. But the same thing with remembering the past lives. When I was 5, I had never seen a snake, never, seen anything other than like the sock snake kind of thing, in a picture book. And I would wake up in my bed screaming that my bed was full of snakes. I was having a past life memory. And that was how I died, was being attacked by snakes. As best as we can tell, I was thrown into a pit of snakes. It was, yeah. And so my mother, helping me understand what I had gone through past life and working with other teachers like myself, like you, taught me that snakes are snakes. They're living creatures that they are not out to do harm. And there was no reason to fear. Respect, yes, but not fear. And so, I think I've held my first bull snake when I was 7, 8, and I was crawling all over and wound up curling up around my neck and just taking a nap, and I was chill. But yeah, I would wake up as a toddler screaming about snakes in my bed.
It's not snakes that are the issue. Like when I hear the word snake or think of a snake that I like shudder, it has nothing to do with the animal itself, because I don't believe really any animals, like you literally just said, are to be feared. They're to definitely be respected and understood, or just stay away altogether if possible. But I had a wicked stepmother who owned a 7.5-foot red-tailed boa constrictor. She did not like me. So every little thing I did, even though I did nothing, like I literally did nothing wrong, I listened to everything my parents said. Once I was a teenager, that started to change just a little bit. But in middle school, I did everything I was supposed to. But she would always find something I was doing wrong. And she knew that I didn't like the snake. She never got me like acclimated to it or introduced me to it. And I just didn't want to be around it. So what she would do is she would get those big rats from the pet store, and you have to feed them live. And my punishment for these perceived misbehaviors, like if she said, when you get home from school, make sure you do your homework, clean your room, and do the dishes. So I'd get home from school, I'd do my homework, I'd do the dishes, and I'd clean my room. And I was doing something wrong and not listening to her because I didn't do it in the exact order she told me to, even though I got it done and she didn't specify. So I would have to dangle the rats by their tail, and they would bite me all over the place, and throw them in the tank, and then make sure the snake ate it. So the noises of I was like 10, and that went on for like 2 years. So to me, when I hear that, I get like thrown back into that traumatic situation. So it's not about the animals, but I still to this day have a very irrational fear of rodents. Very irrational.
I can understand why. That is cruel torment for the sheer pleasure of torment.
Right. It wasn't like, let me teach you
or not. Yeah.
Let me teach you about my snake. This is how you feed the snake, but it was like, okay.
Okay, you didn't do your chores, so yes, you have to feed the snake.
Yes.
As a chore.
Yep.
Not as a torment.
This was purposefully. Don't cover your ears when it screams. Honey. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
A friend who had a Komodo dragon. He brought it over from when he was overseas. He illegally snuck it here. Raised this sucker. This thing was like a dog, but he would have to feed it live chickens.
Right.
The thing was, he lived down in Athens, and cats started missing out of the neighborhood. And I told him, I said, dude, you know who's doing it. And what they do is, sneak in the backyard. It was, this thing was literally like a dog, except you can't touch its mouth because the saliva
of the poison
are very poisonous.
Yeah.
And I was there when they had to come and put it down. I've never seen a man cry so much. So after he got rid of the Komodo dragon, he went, and now he raises poisonous snakes. He does the venom for hospitals, so they have an antivenom.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
I was watching this true crime show recently. I guess it was Evil Lives Here, actually. And this guy had been breeding, snakes his whole life. So he was doing these really interesting different breeds like that only he was doing. So he was making a ton of money. And he had a whole bunch of gigantic, man-eating snakes that he knew how to take care of. And there was never an issue. And he got married, and his wife got in on the business, and they had kids. And she calls the police and says, I just found my husband deceased and he's on the floor. So the cops come in, and you hear the cops are like, oh, he got bit by a snake. Yeah, I don't care. I'm shooting it. Like, how professional, first of all. You're just out to kill an animal.
Lord.
Second of all, the snake had nothing to do with it. The wife is the one who took his life with a gun and tried to make it look like a snake did it. The snake just bit him and took, they don't just do that. Not when you've raised it from this big and it knows that you're there to care for it and not to hurt it. Animals have feelings too.
Animals still have a wild side that.
And I'm not an animal. I wouldn't call myself an animal lover. I really wouldn't. I love cats. I'm not an animal hater, but I know that I'm just not an animal person. So I don't go and buy a dog. I don't go into nature and look for animals. Like, I take walks in nature and I'm there, and if I see an animal, that's great. But I'm not one of those people that's like, oh my God, let me see 47 pictures of
I'm one of the guys that get down on the ground and go, hey, give me that.
No, see, and that's not me. But I didn't grow up with pets. I didn't grow up
I go after
it. Pets. I was allowed to have a hamster when we had the snake. So it was, but I'm one of those people, and I know people get mad at me for this, but it's like, if I go to someone's house for the first time and I knock on the door, I'm literally filled with dread and terror when I hear that click clack of those dog feet come and run into the door. I'm like, oh man, they have dogs. I am that person.
You just made me snort.
I am when I hear the little clackety clack.
The reason I do is because if you were to ever to come to my house, The only thing that you would hear that would sound vaguely like that would be my 20-pound cat who behaves like a dog.
I would be
Uh-huh.
excited over a 20-pound cat, though. I love cats.
Oh, he's a doll. He's a
I want to
sweetheart.
address something. Hey, Smoochie, actually, the guy that raises the snakes now that had the Komodo dragon, he also takes care of venom in spiders and does the same thing with their venom too. Uses it as an anti-venom because there are a lot of poisonous spiders out there. But yeah, that's what he does. It's a cool job. I go down there and visit him every couple months. It's cool to see it. He's got a real cool setup. It's like a
That is
zoo.
neat.
You know what that
That is
reminds
neat.
me of? A lot of people have this thing with spiders, right? This is what I've come to learn and know, like, as fact. Most human beings, we've all been incarnated somewhere else at some other point on our timeline. There's almost no more brand new people. Everyone's incarnated at least a few hundred times. The old souls are the one who have done it, tens of thousands, right? For someone this to be their first time, that's very rare. And we've all incarnated. We don't always come to Earth. We go where our soul needs to learn the most, right? So speaking of spiders, what I found out is, and you can take it or leave it, but I know it as fact. My guides told me there is at least one planet, within our solar system that has its spiders. They're but not like spiders like we know them. They look exactly like that. They're about as big as us or bigger, and they're extraterrestrial in nature, but they look like what we would call a spider.
Mhm.
They're very warmongering. They've destroyed many planets all throughout, the galaxy over millennia. They are there to destroy. They attack, they destroy, they take over, they destroy whatever the planet is, and they move on. A lot of us who have been here before have been at one point or another somewhere where these spider extraterrestrials have done this to our families, to our planet. And that's why, even though they are creepy looking, but that's why a lot of us have this deeply ingrained fear of spiders. Also, if you look at reptilians, who we've kind of just in the last 24 years or so have come to understand they're an alien race. What did everyone do when, well, not everyone, but what did a lot of people do when we said snake? They were like, oh, I love all animals. I don't like snake. Well, why? Look at, and not all reptilians are bad. I know that.
Where
I've yet
did
to
that
find
come from?
a good one, but that's just me. I know there are people who have had conversations with hybrid friendly reptilians. But where does it come from?
Yeah.
I saw a YouTube video. I don't know if you guys saw it, where somebody got on video, and it was reviewed. As far as I understood, it was reviewed, and it was not fake or photoshopped in any way. It was actually very recent, where somebody got a video of a gigantic, like size of a house, spider crawling over a house and into nothingness. How does that happen? They're not supposed to be here, but they are, because there are little spiders here.
Well, even what we would think of as, quote, common spiders. Myself, in person, I have seen tarantula that their legs were bigger than my hand.
Ooh.
Okay. So, their body was like this. We have a area down south of Albuquerque where I forget how often it is, like every 7 years or something like that. It's a tarantula migration, desert tarantulas. And most of them, your standard, body, legs, and all are about
Yeah.
that big. But you do get those gargantuan ones. And my mother has told me about ones when she lived in Fresno, California, that were twice that size. And I'm like, no. Now,
Oof.
that said, I have no problem with spiders. Spiders have their purpose on the earth. I have a problem when they're in my bed or in my shower.
Yeah.
That's not safe. You are being ejected.
And they
If it
do tend
is
to go in the showers.
severely poisonous to me. Now, I'm sure I'm betting you have similar problems in that you have these random and numerous allergies to things out of the blue.
Yes.
A lot of empaths and psychics do. And so I never know from, one thing to the next, if I get bit by something, what kind of an allergic reaction I'm going to have. I got bit by a brown house spider that had gotten into my car, and it was
Oh.
just a little teeny tiny thing. I saw him, right? And he bit me on the scalp, and within 5 minutes, the whole side of my face was
Oh my
red, and I had a fever. I was driving, so it's like, okay, I'm not going home. I'm going straight to the hospital, which luckily was on the way. And, shot of epinephrine later, I am loopy as a goose. So I've learned over the years not to fear the creature, but to respect the potential, if you will.
Yeah.
So Black Widow spider. I'm sorry. I know they have their purpose, but they don't have their purpose in my home or places I dwell.
I was gonna say I fear
Just
them or I respect
not
them by
happening.
keeping them the hell away from me.
Where's my shoe?
I'm sorry, I do it.
So growing up as a girl teenage girl in the 80s, right? And I know a lot of your viewers will get this. Aquanet
Ah,
is amazing for shellacking their behinds. Now, the boys would take that and they would use flame, and it's like, no, I'm
oh,
not going there.
forget
I'm
it.
not gonna. No. Now, zombie apocalypse, that's a different story. Instant flamethrower, but Aquanet, I will use that when I get wasps because we
Yeah.
have the really angry wasps. They're not the like murder hornets or anything like that, but we get the ones that are very aggressive,
Yeah, we
and
do too.
I don't want them near me. I don't want them near my cats.
Mm-hmm.
My husband can fend for himself. No, not really.
I like
You
it.
get where I'm coming from, right? It's
No,
like,
I do.
no, I'm shellacking your behind, and you're out of here.
If I can safely remove something safely to me, I will.
Give me a
Within
cup
reason.
and
I'm
a
not
piece of
gonna
paper, and
yeah, if
they
I
get
can safely
relocated.
do it, but you got to think at the end of the day, and it really depends on what it is. I'm not going to put myself or my child or my mom or anybody, a person in danger to save the life of a spider this big. And that's not because I don't respect animals or insects.
Right.
It's just because that would be unreasonable for someone to expect that of me. And the wasps, you want to talk about aggressive. First of all, I live in the middle of the woods, and we had these wasps who they were building this beautiful nest on my shutters. And
one of the paper wasps, the paper nests.
Yes.
Yeah, those are really pretty.
They're beautiful. But I told Ray, I said,
But
you need to take that down because they will be back. He's like, no, the season's over. They're never going to come back to that. I want to keep it there. It looks nice. They came back.
No, they'll come back.
In the backyard, they came back and started nesting in it again, even though it had been, from summer to summer, or I think it was summer. Their summer
and
wasp.
they'll rebuild. Yeah.
And they weren't, because he didn't take it down. They just started continuing to build until finally he did have to take it down. And then he had to, it was really stuck on there. So aggressive. I didn't realize how aggressive some of them were. I thought they were all the same. The hornets and things, I've only been stung like twice in my life. And I went to the backyard and I was texting my mother, and I put my phone down next to our grill. And we had brought this grill from a storage unit and put it on the back deck. We hadn't opened it and cleaned it or anything yet. It had been in storage for a while. I put the phone down. I'm playing with, my son, who was 2 years old, maybe a little younger at the time. And I heard my phone go off. It was my mom telling me, I'm here. I grabbed the phone. All I did was put my hand like this, about this far. So my hand's here. The grill is over here. It's pretty far away. I guess it thought I was coming at it. The next thing I know, I had 4 stingers repeatedly stinging me, all in different spots on my head, Then they were tangled in my hair. Then they were getting even more agitated. I dropped to the ground. My son's like, Mommy, are you? And he comes running at me. I was like, no, go. And I saw about 90 of them chase, my husband through the yard. He had to rip his shirt off. He's running, screaming. I didn't realize what was going on. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, look. And his whole body was swollen for days. I've got to use the little girl's room again because I drank 3 Red Bulls today. So I'll be back.
You silly girl. So, Ghost, how have you been?
Alive.
Alive, yeah.
Actually, I've been run. No, I'm just been run. I literally showed up at her stream yesterday, like huffing and puffing, because I was out in the storms all day long yesterday. I was soaked, trying to dry off, try to feed the dog, try to get the dog out, try to get everybody fed.
Was it raining?
Oh, it stormed from like morning till like 1 o'clock last night. Nonstop rain, thunder, lightning, the whole works. Thank God we didn't get the bad stuff, but I mean, it was bad. I mean, it was downpours, and I was out driving in it all day. By the time I got done last night, I was like, the day was no different. Just run, trying to get stuff done, trying to get home, just trying to get home. Yeah. But we're good. We're hanging in there. Gnomes got to include gnomes. Yeah, I keep telling Gemma, she got all these little fake gnomes running around her house. She says, you better keep her eyes open. They're sneaky little devils. Oh, and she sent me a box today. It was great.
Oh, I saw the pictures. You need to show that off.
It's right there.
It's something I'm working on right now, actually, is getting the entire set of singing bowls. I've got 5 of the 7. I've been buying them one at a time because they're
small
not
or large.
They're the good ones. So I've got the smaller ones. I need basically it's the sacral and the root chakra bowl, which are the 2 largest, right? So, they're going to be like this diameter. But because I am getting certified this year in sound healing as well. And for those of you that don't know, I am a certified wellness guide, full wellness guide. How does she put it? I've got the certificates, and my brain is going fibro on me right now. Certified full wellness guide, natural energy healer, crystal healer, so I can do crystal healing with crystals, as well as a distance healer. So I've got those certifications, and I want to get, by the end of the year, I will have my sound healing certification, because I'd like to be able to offer that to the community to show support.
Jules, we're not on spiders. Lara, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We've been talking about this for so long, and it never occurred to me, like it did, like your services are very useful, but specifically for things I've been searching out for my own life and things I would like to have some help with myself. There, as well as I do, there are things you can do for others that you just can't do for yourself.
And the healer has the hardest time healing themselves.
I can't.
And
I didn't realize that some of what I'm looking for is actually what you're certified in. So I do want to talk to you about that privately. I've said it before, but it didn't register the exact things you were talking about, because I actually have a note right over here of someone who charges $450 for the hour. And I'm like, it's a lot, but I don't think you're going to charge me that much. So,
no. And yes, for doing like you do, appointment type work, where I'm giving you an hour of my time directly, I will probably ask for compensation. But that compensation doesn't necessarily have to be financial.
I do that too. I take trades. If someone can't pay, I'm like, look, donate what you can when you can. And there are people that can attest to that. Yes, I have a set price because this is the way I'm trying to make my living. Like, this is the only job I have right now. But if you can't pay, I've never once said, sorry, come back to me when you have it. Like, I've never done it. I've lost money with clients, but I don't care because the job is more important than the money. The money will follow at some point. I think somebody, and I know, I'm gonna speak in definites. I know that somebody is going to randomly come across YouTube, recognize the talent I have with Oracle, and pull me out of or into something where something more structured as a business model. But I don't see anything wrong with asking for some compensation for time, as long as you're not gouging people. $450 an hour?
Right. Okay. Now I also get that don't agree with that price, but I get higher pricing for someone who's been doing it for a long time. They've gotten whether it's mentorship or taking classes for certification.
She's very well established.
Life experience, all of that. But you also you look at who's your clientele, who are you going after. I'm looking to support a community of people who are trying to make it themselves, and so if I can do things and do them affordably, maybe then that allows me to take another class that I can then turn around and use that knowledge to help people more in the community, or buy the larger sound bowl so that I can offer online sound baths and things of that nature. Then, there's a give and take there. But even, my mentor that I'm taking classes with right now, Sarah Lemos, who I hope it's okay. Please don't get mad at me. I'm going to mention she's going to be on another podcast later this evening called The Blondes and Booze.
Nice.
I
don't ever mind as long as it doesn't interfere with my Wednesday night.
But Sarah is going to be on as guest this evening on The Blondes and Booze, and it's BOOS, like ghosts. They're paranormal teams that are up in your general neck of the woods. They go around all up in the Northeast. So, but I just thought it was really neat. I literally had just finished class with Sarah and go to check to see, who's still broadcasting or who just put up messages. And they just put up a little short about what their coming week was, and that Sarah was going to be on this evening. And
that's like, cool.
Yeah.
What is it called? Blondes and Booze is the name of the channel, or
Blondes and Booze. And so you can search for them. They also have a Facebook page. Krista and Jamie, and anyway, they've got Krista actually even took classes with Sarah back when she first started teaching. But what I was trying to get around to also is even Sarah's prices, as someone who's been doing this for well over a decade professionally. She's on television. She's done several TV shows. Does not charge an arm and a leg for you to have a mediumship session with her or to take her classes, because she wants to do this to help people.
Well, that's why I know with people like with me, at first I wasn't charging. I was like, for readings, I was like, guys, just donate. But the problem that happened there was I was like, I tell everyone, like, I do everything that I do myself. I don't have editors. I don't have researchers. I don't have anyone helping me with my brand. It's all just me. And I do it all myself. So I was doing 70 to 80 readings per month, and 3 people were donating. That's where I had to put a price on it. And I looked before I put that price on it, I looked at what every other big tarot and oracle reader was charging for the same type of reading, for the same amount of minutes. and I'm not even a third of what they charge. And I give out 3 to 5 free readings a month. I randomly pick people and I surprise them. I'm like, oh, by the way, you were picked this month. Here's your reading. Because I want to get to the point, and that's what I was saying, like with Wednesday nights, even Thursday nights, whatever you guys donate, that's how I buy decks. That's how I buy crystals. That's how I buy all the stuff that I put in the boxes to send you guys. That's how I pay for shipping. Not a lot of it goes to me. I make most of my money that I live on and support myself on through my writing. I have other writing things that I do besides MP&M and my books. I just don't talk about them because I usually sign NDAs. But with donations, I try as hard as I can to put those back into what I'm doing. Even with my new phone, to be able to make better pre-recorded videos, to be able to connect better with Patreon. My poor patrons, like they get a reading and nothing else because I've been locked out of my own Patreon for a year and a half now. I want to get to a point. This is my goal. This is the download I received of what I'm supposed to be doing and where I will be in 10 years as per about a year ago. So 9 years. Mm-hmm. Opening a spiritual retreat where people will pay to come for 5 days, 10 days, however, up to 12 days, I think was what it was. And I'm going to be doing some of the healing and oracle reading, and I'll have people like you, Lara, come in and do what they're certified in doing. But there are also other things that I want to personally offer where I want to say, let me do that for you. Let me help you with that and not have to charge for things like readings. Or a lot of the times when I send boxes out to people, I lose money. But I don't look at it as losing money because I look at it as somebody is helping. I don't mean you. Somebody is being helped by this who may possibly help another. And I'm spreading the word of the community, paying it forward for the gifts that I was given, that I'm finally I'm 40 now, but at 38 years old, was able to, because of you guys, most of you who are in here now, were supportive enough of me, and I'm getting emotional, that I was able to finally, for the first time in my life, say, this is who I am, this is what I can do. If you don't like it, just don't watch me. And feel comfortable enough in my own skin to do that. After 38 years of silence and addiction because of it and everything else I went through, you guys are amazing.
Sweetheart, I feel for you so much. I'm 55, okay? I turned 55 in December. And it wasn't until a little over 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, that I finally have felt comfortable enough in my own skin to do something like this, even though it's been a dream for a very long time. And to be able to show this support to the community, to be able to mentor. I'm a teacher by spirit, not just by nature, but by spirit. My very soul is a teacher. Every time I glean a little bit of knowledge, my immediate instinct is to turn around and pass that knowledge on to everyone I can, and in a loving and graceful way. And so I absolutely get where you're coming from. And being
and I try to tell people, I lost chat, first of all. I pulled something up by accident in front of the chat, but before I forget this, I'm sorry again, Lara. Netter, listen, hit me up. Hit me up and let me know what's going on, especially if it seems like whatever's happening since you salted is negative. Netter is one of my personal clients, and we're going through some cleansing rituals. He has a very ornery and cranky old spirit that's been attached to him for a very long time. I only laugh because I picture the guy in my head, and he looks kind of, at this point, he's from like the 1700s. He looks like the old Muppet, the old grumpy Muppets that kind of sit in the background. That's kind of,
yep, I know exactly what you're talking
about. So
that's
why I'm giggling. It's actually not funny because the thing is so angry and has been for so long. It's now created a separate entity that's nothing but it. So that's what we're dealing with. Not to get too personal, but I know he doesn't care. So we're going through some rituals, but I want to make sure he's okay. I want so badly to just be like, giving things away and never charging for anything. I also always want to make sure that people understand there is a big difference when I say I'm not only reading from the book. If someone reads Oracle and Tarot and they're reading from the book, great. That's wonderful. But I was never able to do that. I was only able to read from the book, and then I couldn't stop the messages that were coming in. I didn't realize to begin with that was channeling. It's never a message from Gemma. It's always me and spirit.
Hold on a second there. Stephen, can you pull back up what their comment was about the cat?
I have something.
Okay, would you read that to me?
I lost half my screen. There's something I pulled up by accident. It says, Gemma Jade, I sent you 2 emails about my cat, and I sent a text about the crystals. I put blank my nightstand. Weird. Yes, I will get to it right after this.
Hit me up, because one of the things that pulled me down this rabbit hole to bring me to this seat right here, right now, is connecting with a woman on YouTube who is an animal communicator. When I had started watching her videos and began to realize that I have been doing it my entire life.
So have I.
I am a natural animal communicator.
Which is weird because I never want to be around animals, but they always wanted to be around me. And I just said that to him the other day. I'm like, believe it or not, I'll be able to pick it up directly from your cat. I knew that this extra entity was going to start messing with at least the one cat. And I tell people all the time, if I have
tail.
Something that I can't handle.
I just got the flash. Ask him if it has behaved like it's had its tail grabbed.
I will.
At times.
I've spoken to him about that.
That was the instant image I got.
About the one cat is kind of his soul, one of his soul partners. Okay. I don't like to say soulmate when it comes to animal, but you know what I'm talking about.
It's familiar. I mean, that's the best.
His familiar. The other cat is also
they know you better than anything. Yeah.
But a little bit to a lesser extent. So because he doesn't have such that deep connection with the second animal, even though he's very deeply connected, this entity sees that animal as a way to get to him. But he's not negative, just weird, which is good because I knew that was going to be when it gets scared. That was going to be the first thing it did. So that means it understands that we're gunning for it. So it can't be a bad thing. And I do tell people that when I can't find the answer to a problem or, if I don't know what to do, you are one of the first people, if not the first person that I will go to. One, I trust you very much, that you would just say, I don't know. If you didn't know, you wouldn't just make something up. A lot of people do just to be involved in the conversation. And number 2, a lot of them are familiar with you. So you're a familiar face that they also trust. So they know, like, listen, I didn't know the answer, but I got it from Pixie, who got it from someone she trusts or just knew it. We kind of have to do that in this community. If you trust someone and you trust that what they're saying is true, we have to build each other up, Lara. We can't make it a competition. We can't.
Exactly.
We'll never get anything done that way. And yes, I get a little catty when people stream the Oracle at the same time that I do, but it's never in a way where it's something I have to work on myself, but it's never in a way where I tell them like, if you go into so-and-so stream, don't I would never do that because at the end of the day, it is more people reading Oracle. I just don't like when people say that they're channeling and they're not, because it gives us all a bad name. We have to come together. Guys, I am going to, Smoochie, I will talk to you privately. Guys, I have a long night of writing ahead of me. I'm trying to get the Black-Eyed Kid book out in May. And I'm already like a month behind on that deadline. Luckily, my publishers are awesome. And they're like, listen, do what you need to do, write it. But I don't want to take advantage of that grace and that kindness. Thank you, Ryan, so much. I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, Ryan.
I want to get that book out so badly. It's taken me a long time to write it. It's a subject that I've been obsessed with, and I can't believe how lucky I was to be able to write about the Black-Eyed Kids. Like something in my addiction, I would lay there and watch show after YouTube video after video of Black-Eyed Kids. Like one day I'm going to research this, like for real, you know, and I'm living that small dream right now. Thanks to you guys, right? The links for all three of my first 3 books are in the description box. And total, I have not done them myself, but I've seen them. So if you want to Facebook message me, or a better thing to do, to be honest with you, Stephen, if you'd put my email address in the chat, because Facebook Messenger for me, it's Gemma Jade is a public page. It's not my personal. I mean, I use it sometimes for personal things, but it's public. So anyone who reads my books, watches my videos, watches me, you know, saw me on Powerflix, like whatever you've seen me do, you come there. But then in Messenger, it's people with money wrapped around their privates, or begging to see my feed, or that remember me from when I was, you know, addicted 5.5 years ago. It's just something that I don't want to deal with all that. So if you email me, I normally will give you my personal number to text. And then if you get out of hand, I'll just block you. Like, that's how I look at it. I will block you. Not that you will.
And I'm the same way.
I'll get personal. I'll be personal. I'll be your friend.
Email. Yeah.
So total, if you would email me, thank you, Blue Crossroads. Thank you, Ghost Dragons, at GemmaJadeParanormal@gmail.com. I will get right back to you because I'm going over there to check emails now. Guys, the coloring book with my picture is arriving in Rockaway today. So I will have it tomorrow. I can't wait to show you guys. I couldn't believe Thomas from I keep going to call it TMP, TPM, the Paranormal magazine, did that for me. He was just like, hey, by the way, I'm putting you in this coloring book. I wrote 2 articles for them. TMP Press, that's what it's called. And he just told me that I needed a domain name. And he's like, this is your domain name. And he gave it to me. And I don't even know what that means. So I'm going to talk to him further and find out what is a domain and why do I need it. And you know, I'm working with
Amazon.com. That is a domain.
Okay, so it makes sense that it would be GemmaJadeParanormal.com.
Paranormal.com. So you now have the rights to that. No one else can use it.
Ooh.
That belongs to you and only you. You can set up your own webpage via that. I'm going to talk to my girlfriend and see if maybe we can't get you some mentoring at, you know, maybe work with Stephen to get you that webpage set up, because this is ridiculous, girl. You need to get something
People
going.
don't even know that I sell products. They're like, wait, Gemma sells stuff? and right. I will say there was a subscriber who donated 100% for me to get my website done professionally. Then I had a friend that I had known for a really long time that I trusted say, look what I did with my website. I will do it for half. The person who gave me the money said, I don't care. You just pay me back whenever. Get whatever you need to get. So she didn't care. So I said, okay, I'm going to go with my friend. And as soon as I spent the rest of the money on other things, my friend disappeared for 6 months. Then I went through the whole personal family situation and didn't have access to my product. So it all went to heck. And luckily that person was kind enough to show me some grace. Like, I made a big mistake. I messed up. You know, it won't happen again. But I was lucky that I didn't lose a friend over that, meaning the person who gave me the money. So I should have already had that up and running, and it's through my own fault that I didn't. But anybody who can help me with something like that, I would definitely appreciate it, because I'm working.
Get a hold of me over the weekend.
Yes, I will, because Ray is staying here with RJ with me on Saturday night for Easter on Sunday. Right? Oh, and I'll be
over the weekend.
I'm going to give you guys each a couple minutes. I just don't want to forget anything that I'm saying. On Saturday night, this Saturday, the night before Easter at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be over on Michigan UFO Paranormal. They have such a long name. Michigan UFO, guys, over there. And I'm hoping to stream over there and over here. We need to get them subscribers, because they are an amazing
Send me the link and I'll share it out.
I would, that would be great, because they do not get enough credit for the work that they do over there. I love those guys. They've been so generous with me. We're going to talk about my most recent book, because it's like the sales aren't doing well. And I think that's because I haven't promoted it properly like I did the other two. I didn't. I was lazy with promotion because as soon as it came out, I was going through all this personal stuff and moving, and I wasn't focused like I should have been on me. One more thing too that I wanted to say. There was so much, guys. There's just so much, but you can always email me for anything that you may need. He did register it because I remember him saying it's going to take 24 hours to be registered. So he said, use this, in the meantime, the coloring book, the news articles, the magazine articles that I wrote. There's more, but I always ramble at the end and forget half the stuff anyway. I was caught in a whirlwind. And at that time, I wasn't focused enough on Gemma to understand that it all had to happen the way that it did. It all had to happen. I'm stronger and better now than I've ever been in my life. I'm more confident in myself, in what I'm doing. I tried so hard. For the most part, you won't see me worry because I know the universe got me. For me to get to that point as quickly as I did, I'm pretty darn proud of myself. And I want to put it back out there to you guys. So there was one more really big thing, but I remember Tennille's sister, the one who did my shirt that I'm wearing now, the other two I showed you guys, Steven's shirts. She and I are going to work together because she does an amazing job with the t-shirts, obviously. I'm going to get some limited Gemma Jade shirts, maybe 2 images of my face that say Gemma Jade Paranormal YouTube on the back, and 2 images of something else a crystal ball, but it's actually a big gem in 2 hands or something. I'm coming up with ideas. She's going to print them for me. I'm going to pay her, and then I'm going to sell them to you guys and see how I do. But I do sell metaphysical items. I sell crystal packets. I sell spiritual sessions with me. And I'm going to be working with Lara. I'm going to carve out some time when Lara can carve out time, because a lot of the things that you mentioned, I didn't know specifics of what you did. And I'm so crazed half the time, I didn't think to even ask. I was like, yes, you can definitely do me some good somehow. I knew you could because I can feel your energy. But specifically the things you mentioned, 2 of them are something very specific to something I need very badly and can't do for myself. So, Jules, that's a great idea. Yeah, guys, you know what? Email me ideas. That's even better. I love you guys. I'm going to pull myself out and let these 2 say goodbye to you guys.
That's
I'm
all
done.
right, sweetheart.
The Red Bull's kicking in, okay?
Yeah, I'm done.
So if you guys are busy, go over to Blondes and Booze to see my mentor, Sarah Lemus, and the Blondes and Booze team. They are an amazing investigative team of the paranormal. You can also find them over at Texas Front Porch, and that's TEX' Front Porch.
I love
Tex
him.
is he is so sweet. I love that man to death, and I haven't met him yet. So
I think I was on there once.
You can watch on either platform, okay? And I'm gonna head over there, and I'll be in the chat room, probably on Texas Front Porch side to start out with, and then I usually will switch chat rooms, so I say hi to everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful and blessed week. And for those of you that follow the Christian faith, have a blessed holiday, blessed Easter, and please feel free to contact me. I know that they've been putting my email address in the show notes. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Just make sure, put Hello Paranormal Pixie or something like that, so that I don't immediately throw it to the spam folder, because I've been getting a ton of, obviously, Chinese or whatever spam that's just going straight in the spam folder. So, let me know if there's anything I can help with. If you'd like a reading, if you'd like me to maybe do some distance healing, or just have a question, just reach out. I'm here. I love you, babe. Have a wonderful week.
I'll speak
get a
to you
hold of
Saturday.
me. All right, sounds good. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, guys, identifying yourself when it comes to email is really important. I also notice when I'm emailing people back, it's going directly into their junk folder. So I don't know what that's about. Don't forget, instead of Gemma Jade, my channel will soon be Gemma Jade Paranormal. Okay, so I hope this was a great stream, letting you guys just unwind, letting us unwind. Don't forget about me on Wednesday nights, guys. I've been starting on time between 7 and 7:15 Eastern. And, I'm doing better than ever, if I do say so myself, humble bragging with my oracle. I'm really proud of particularly that aspect of my career. Jules for the win, guys. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much for coming in. If you guys have time, Texas, TEX', Texas, like the name, front porch, and or Blondes and Booze, BOOS. Smoochie, yes, Blondes and Boobs. That's our show, me and you. We got to get that going on sometime. Total Guerra. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Thank you so much for coming in. I love seeing new names, new faces. Any of you guys can email me or text me at any time. Just be patient with my responses. I've got a lot going on, and I normally do not work on weekends. Pretty much without exception. So otherwise, I love you guys. Be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, and make sure that others are kind to you. Monday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, we will be talking about or discussing a possible real immortal grotesque type vampire bloodsucker in England, maybe. And then at 12 noon Eastern, we are going to have Chris, the paranormal dude, on with myself and Ghost Dragons and some more insane footage and pictures. That's the same guy we had on, I think, the last time we had a guest on there, where he had the cloaked square UFOs. So, all right. Love you guys. Lady Gemma of Jersey. That's what I should have called this channel. Yes. Smile at a stranger, guys. See you next time.